Yo, what's good, guys? Have you ever wanted a warlock build that's so juicy, so perfect that you can use it in any PvE game mode? Do I have a treat for you? Are you having trouble surviving or even killing champions? Well, look no further. This build is equipped with everything you need to kill a champion. Are you taking too much damage? Or dying too much? Well, just take a look at this clip here. Yeah, I know. I know. This build's insane, alright? Not only do you have constant regen for insane survivability, but it's also excellent for ad clear. Now, are you at the bottom of the leaderboard for every D.P.S phase? Well, problem solved. Let's look at this here. Now I hope that was good enough. But let's get into the real build, shall we? To start off the build, we're going to be using Sanguine Alchemy as our exotic armor piece. Sanguine is a really good exotic in my opinion because standing in the rift gives you damage buff if the weapon matches your subclass. So for example, if I'm using a stasis subclass with a stasis auto rifle while standing in a rift, that auto rifle will get a damage buff. Not only that, but with every kill you extend the rift's time. So if I get a kill, it'll extend the rift's time even if it hits 0. Now for this build, I would seriously recommend Lord of Wolves as your exotic weapon, as it deals out massive damage and is an overall good weapon. Now for our rifts, I would recommend using the Healing Rift, as the Empowering Rift doesn't really give you much of a damage buff and it doesn't heal you. Sanguine will take care of most of that. Alright, for this build, you need to use Arcane Needle. Why do I say this? Well, Arcane Needle has 3 different charges. That means you get 3 times that you can activate Lightning Surge. We'll get to Lightning Surge here in a second, and you'll understand why. Now, the grenade that you use doesn't really matter. However, I like to use Void Grenade as it can suck everything in to one space, and I can use my Lightning Surge on an entire group of enemies. Alright, now we're going to be talking about Feed the Void. This is probably one of my favorite aspects in the entire game. It says, defeat a target with any ability to activate Devour. While Devour is active, Final Blows restore health and extend Devour. Now, this is an extremely OP aspect, especially for prismatic, right? You can use any ability out of your entire arsenal to activate Devour. And getting kills extends Devour as well. That just means constant regen for ad clear. constant regen for taking on those big heavy bosses, and we've got Song of Flame if you really need it. Alright, this is Lightning Surge. This is another really important one. It says, while sliding, activate your charged melee ability to blink forward, calling down lightning strikes that jolt targets as you rematerialize. Targets that are hit with your lightning strikes grant you stacks of bolt charge. Now, bolt charge is an interesting one. If you get a 10 stack of bolt charge and you hit anything, actually, you can hit anything, it'll call down a lightning strike of its own, right? It'll deal a ton of damage, and that also gives you Devour, and it'll heal you. Very, very OP. Moving on to fragments, we've got Facet of Justice. While transcendent, your ability final blows explode. Now, if you recall, with Lightning Surge, you've got all that AoE, and everything explodes at the same time. Everything goes boom. Alright? Everything. Alright. Next fragment. You've got Facet of Courage. Your Arc, Solar, and Void abilities deal increased damage to targets affected with darkness debuffs. So, if you were to use, I don't know, your Arcane Needle, for example, and you debuff one of the targets, you will deal increased damage to them with your grenade, or, you know, your Lightning Surge ability. Alright, this fragment brings everything together. This is Facet of Balance. Rapidly defeating targets with light damage grants melee energy. Rapidly defeating targets with darkness damage grants grenade energy. So, if you were to hit people with your Arcane Needle, you would get grenade energy. If you were to hit people with your grenade, you would get melee energy. See how that kind of works hand in hand, right? Constant damage equals more abilities. Alright, so here's some more survivability. This is Facet of Protection. While surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. While transcendent, the effect is increased. So for example, if I was in the Crota room, surrounded by all kinds of thrall, I would take less damage, and if I was transcendent, I would take even less damage. Now, if you pair that with Song of Flame, you basically take no damage whatsoever. Alright, for our last fragment, we're going to be using Facet of Purpose. Picking up an Orb of Power grants either Amplified, Restoration, Frost Armor, Woven Mail, or Overshield, based on the damage type of your equipped super. So because we paired this with Song of Flame, we're going to be getting Restoration. That paired with Facet of Protection, we definitely will not die. Alright, this build has been crafted to make sure that nobody dies unless you seriously screw up. This is probably one of my favorite builds I've ever made on Warlock. Definitely a 10 out of 10. Here's going to be all of our armor mods that I would recommend putting on our armor. Alright, that's going to be it for the build. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Build crafting was fun. I would ask that you guys subscribe. It is completely free, and it helps me out a ton. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll see you in the next one.